You can't stop listening to either of those records when you start listening to one of them. Yeah,
brilliant.
It's great.
They're probably going by Radio Song, the one he did with R.E.M.
Bro,
what are you saying? What are you playing? Who are you obeying? Huh. Baby.
He's the teacher.
Come here. Say come to the
Number
teacher.
25 on the worst.
Was Michael Stipe
We bust
in there?
up on the scene around 1986. A few hit records got it started real quick.
Yeah,
I
KRS-One
represent the Bronx.
is worse than
I
Kevin
am a
Federline.
New Yorker, all vegetarian,
Never eat pork
or
or
chicken
chicken. I
in a
can't do
battle
that.
once my brain starts clicking. Just like the
I'm not
gears
gonna
of a
rhyme
watch
on
stop
mic, I'm
ticking.
sorry.
You're cut off now. I'm about to hit the bell.
Seriously, super producer Chris, God gave me the talent, so let me flaunt the gift.
Who's the guy that died that he's always talking about?
Scott
again?
LaRock.
Scott LaRock.
His other brother, ICU.
He's much darker. All right.
He was shot. Scott LaRock was shot to death after the production of Criminal Minded. So everything is.
He's actually half of this. He's on half of the songs on By All Means Necessary, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, I didn't even realize
You
he was on
hear his
Criminal
voice
Minded.
on a couple of them.
I thought it was more than a couple.
I think they probably, but like he got very like You Must
Stop
Learn.
the
You remember that song, You
violence?
Must Learn? And like Love Is Gonna Get You, I think is the one that I was talking about.
Are there more
But I
beers
actually like
inside?
that song though.
Sure is.
I have all of
Get me
those. I mean, they're definitely not, by all means necessary. But he's got some great records in there. And
Isn't it by
within
any
even-
means necessary? Oh no, that's the actual.
Yeah.
Okay.
But even in the bad ones, there's still a couple of great tracks. In it. He's a pretty good guy.
Was Jay-Z or somebody like that on there? I don't know anything about Jay-Z's lyrics, but I'm thinking any of the newer guys. Well,
Jay-Z
maybe
is
on
amazing,
there.
man.
What
You know,
about Michael
Jay-Z's great.
Stipe?
I don't
'Cause
have...
I've heard people knock his lyrics all the time. Michael Stipe.
From R.E.M.?
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Protest Song is one of the best songs ever written.
I love R.E.M.
I
Well,
love
to a
him, too.
point. I mean,
He got Simon Le Bon's on there.
all right, let's make fun of Simon Le Bon, Blender. Sorry, he's not Bell and Sebastian, jerk face.
I'm sorry, guys. I really didn't do a lot of research into the list.
All right. Number 38, Paul McCartney.
Well, 38, I thought it was in the 40s, but okay.
Wow.
All right.
Henry Rollins.
Puff Daddy's on there. He should be.
So Kevin Federline is the third. So there's only 7 worse lyricists separating Paul McCartney and Kevin Federline, according to them.
I thought I couldn't hate Blender more than I did. Now I do.
Isn't that the magazine that... Oh, no, that's Raygun. Forget it.
Same
Raygun
thing.
was the magazine that you can't even read because it's like half the pages are upside down because they're so avant-garde. And
What do you think
No,
Federline
these
was
are not
thinking when he
avant-garde.
wrote Obla Di Obla Da? What do you think Kevin was thinking?
He was speaking.
he was trying to name the kids, but Britney wouldn't have it.
Is that something Britney said that night, Obla Di Obla Da, that he just thought was a hook?
All right, guys. I understand it was a bad story that I brought up. I'll move on to a
We're
lighter.
still talking about it. It's
no,
not a bad story.
No. I understand. I'll move on to a lighter story. You don't want to talk about this stuff. Well, I'll keep it light. So David Copperfield this week was accused of rape in the Bahamas.
He'd like to see that disappear.
If you were a magician and you really had any sort of abilities for like hypnosis or anything, isn't the first thing you do be looking to hook up with chicks all the time? I mean, I thought he did it already because he hooked up with what's her name, Claudia Schiffer. That
Can't
way.
he just hypnotize them?
Yeah, I would think. Come to me, sweetness.
I am the magician.
Yeah, I think it's. I think he's bad. I think rape is wrong. I'd like to make that.
If you ever
statement.
say anything bad about David Copperfield, I'm going to punch you in the face.
Now, what...
Not the book. Not the book.
Sorry.
A woman came out and said this? Because I also heard they found like $2 million in one of his warehouses. They found $2
So
million
what?
in cash.
So what?
By the way, I'm busting out my new...
The guy's a millionaire. He's not allowed to have his money around.
That's weird, to have $2 million in a warehouse of cash. That's weird.
A guy like me keeps 20 in my wallet. A guy like Copperfield keeps $2 million.
You keep a stash of a couple grand in your bed?
Sure. Right, I got it on me.
God, if I had a stash of a couple grand, it'd be
A woman
gone.
came out. Do we have the woman's name?
Yeah, that's actually part of the law. Is that victims are supposed to be identified and put their addresses in the paper.
Well, I would like to call her up and see if this actually happened.
Oh, and you'd be able to pull the. You'd be able to discern.
It
the
was an
truth?
illusion. That was one of David Copperfield's illusions. Stop. He made it
You
grow.
don't even feel this.
Yeah, he made something grow and
What I
made
did
it
is-
not feel it.
What I did is I magically placed my DNA inside her. So you can't submit that to
Seriously,
the court.
did you ever see David Blaine? He does stuff. Copperfield's been doing it long. He's got to be even better at it. It was
I don't think
magic.
David Blaine has to rape. I don't think anyone does.
Copperfield has too much
I'm
money
going to
to
go on record
raise.
as being against rape.
I bet you Copperfield gets off.
Cutting edge.
That's the whole
I don't mind
problem.
saying it. I don't mind
Copperfield
saying
gets off.
I bet you he does. That's the problem.
Because
Fred.
it probably didn't happen. This lady is lying. She wants his money. She wants some fame. She's lying.
Jerks.
She's lying.
All right.
Guaranteed.
I don't want to take an ugly turn. With
Why are
this.
you bringing this down?
Let
Why
me
are you
move on. I'll
Come
move on. I don't want to. I don't want to go.
happier, dude.
I don't
Something
want to
a
go
little
to. I don't want to go to an awful story, but I've got to keep it in this awful train if I
Are you going to talk about the guy that got caught finally?
can. What's this girl's name? Elena and David Glatt. Elena and David Glatt. Not the guy who used to play bass for Mudfoot. They're suing. What? Inside references? Inside jokes?
Who's Mudfoot?
No, it's inside joke. It doesn't get inside if I tell them. Well, this week they're suing $400,000 for their florist
I hate them.
at their wedding because the flowers were the wrong color.
How much was the wedding? Now,
$30,000 total, and that includes the flowers and everything
That
else.
run the wedding.
They're suing for $400,000.
America.
Allow
Here's the
me to
thing.
explain to you. My flowers at my wedding were wrong. My cake was wrong. My food was wrong. The priest forgot to say, "You may now kiss the bride." And the beers that were supposed to be in the limo when I left the church, they gave me a 6-pack. I said, "You got to make sure there's a ton of beer in there for the ride." They brought a 6-pack for me.
You should be a millionaire.
I should be rolling in dough.
Allow me to get political on this.
Yeah.
9/11 didn't happen because they're jealous of our freedom, and it didn't happen because of our involvement in world affairs. It happened because of people like that.
Ouch. I mean, don't get me wrong. I understand being mad that things don't go right at your wedding, but things go wrong at a wedding, and the fact that your flowers weren't the right color and they clashed. By the way, the clashing was the flowers that were supposed to be pink. They showed pictures of them in the paper. They were white.
Hey, weren't they yellow?
They were, well, they looked white in the picture. It could have been yellow, but
Right, so-
but they're white. You know
But
what?
$400,000.
White doesn't clash with anything, as far as I can tell.
Can't you
It's
sue?
white.
Can't you sue for the money back and maybe another couple thousand? You
Yeah.
know, if you need to.
For
Excellent.
damages.
Yeah, if the flowers were splattered with the priest's blood, then maybe you could sue for that much money. But other than that, no.
If you really have emotional issues because of this, like what is it called again? That they sued. What is that when you
Cancer,
Idiots. Idiotness.
Insanity.
punitive damages.
punitive damage? If you're really so emotionally broke up over this, you should probably sue for a brain.
Don't get me wrong. Your wedding is supposed to be a really important day to most
All right,
people that
fine,
actually
and
care
some
about
things
this
don't
stuff.
work out. You know,
You don't know what his wife is like. She might be the one driving.
not to
this.
bring up personal things on the air, which I won't. But I think you could actually sue somebody for way more for doing something way worse at your wedding.
What if you get divorced? I'm going to sue for marrying the wrong person.
right,
If
what
God
if-
let me marry this person, I'm suing him.
Yeah, ironically, the thing that you're bringing up.
Yeah, wait a second. What did I do at his wedding?
No. You weren't drinking that much.
No,
that
I
day.
want to sue you because you and my girlfriend at the time, had to keep going out into the 4-degree weather to smoke cigarettes, and I had to come.
Glad
That's you should be sued for being stupid and going out with them. Like, yeah, you know what? I don't need to go out and get cigarettes. I'm going to sit in here and be warm. But
She didn't start talking books.
yeah, at my wedding,
the pot cookies are so good at your wedding.
I didn't have one of them. I didn't have one. I didn't even know they existed. Oh, that's right. Debo ate them all. At my wedding, at the actual ceremony itself, long story short,
Oh, you know what? You talked about this on the
a
air.
member of my family was inappropriate and drunk and high in the church and made racist comments about my wife's family during, in church.
She actually hung a noose. during
Yeah, it was great, but it was made out of Play-Doh. It was for
Was
Halloween.
it bad, like what she said was bad?
No. It
wasn't bad.
It wasn't.
It was just racist.
It wasn't like. I mean, it wasn't
It was
over the top.
It was,
insane.
That's what I mean.
It was down to earth, ignorant racism. Not
Right.
like I hate you because you're this. It was
Right.
that ignorant style of
Right,
racism.
and so whatever. So I have a problem with her. And to date, I mean, I've been married for just about 4 years now. I still have not spoken to her. This week, I actually received a card from my grandmother about the fact that I don't come to the house anymore. And my grandmother actually put her phone number in for me to call her because I'm a jerk that never calls her.
That's a guilt trip. Oh, my God.
Yeah. It's going to be a shame that she's going to die without me hearing hearing from me.
But it was your aunt that did it. It wasn't your grandmother that did it, right?
Yeah, but my aunt is her
daughter.
in her 50s and still lives with her mommy because she's a real productive member of society and she still lives there. So I can't go to my grandmother's house without seeing her.
You'll never say what she said at the wedding, will you?
She just made. There are certain Filipino traditions that went on during my wedding ceremony, and my aunt made